This is Lansdowne Roar, the voice of the fans. Coming up, Claudine, she heads back. Plus, we look through the best and worst moments of 2024, and we take a look at how our boys in green gone on across the water. It's Lansdowne Roar, the last Lansdowne Roar of 2024, by the way. Here you go. Hello and welcome to Lansdowne Roar. David Dunn here, joined by Mark Prendergast and Connor McAvoy. You're very welcome to the final Lansdowne Roar of 2024. As always, guys, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, where we are trying to grow the channel here. And you can also head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account if you want opinion, such as Connor's article today, which he wrote about a fantastic scouting system that's being used and promoting Irish football. It's over at lansdowneroar.ie. That is lansdowneroar.ie, and Connor tells a little bit more about that later on. And of course, Connor, who is over at Rep Tracker on Twitter, and head over there as Rep Tracker on Twitter if you want to find out the latest and what's going on with the current and the future boys and girls in green. There you go, lads. Seamless intro there. I like to think.
Yeah.
What are we laughing about? Anyway, lads, it's the ever Lansdowne Roar 2024. How do we feel about it?
Don't know. What sounds as bad as your mic does at the moment. I don't know what's happened to you there.
Yeah, you just jumped in there really loud.
You jumped in.
That's all right.
Oh, sorry. How's it now?
That's all right now.
There we go. Now you see, and my microphone wasn't working, and the pair of you who were supposed to tell me about these sort of things didn't notice. Thanks for that, chaps.
It magically just happened.
Just after the intro. But there you go. It's what I'm working with, folks. It's what I'm up against. So please, but there you go. So of course, before we get into it, lads, I suppose Connor, you and I did a video, the most successful video we've ever done on Lansdowne Roar. Better than
you're welcome.
Yes, you are. You are welcome. Martin, don't think you're on it, are you?
No, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the show, lads, to be fair. And it's something that we've said, haven't we, with the Raw faithful, that we are exploring some new kind of ways of giving out content and discussing key kind of issues in Irish football. And yeah, I for one enjoyed it. And obviously, 5,500 others did as well. So not bad. Well done.
Indeed. Some comments though. Basically, yeah. So in case you're wondering, it is on the YouTube channel. 10 potentially recruits for the boys in green. Connor and myself. Connor composed a list, and then we sort of went through it. Connor, a bit of feedback on it, mostly positive. We had a lot of people saying, "Good video, well done, lads. Really interesting, that sort of stuff." But also some negative comments here. Here was one here from Brian O'Driscoll. I wonder if it's the Ryan O'Driscoll. Have we not learned a lesson getting English players with Irish ancestry who lose any interest in Ireland when England show interest?
Basically, the best one to explain that one, is it?
Oh, shots. No,
just as someone's
no. It's completely right. Yeah. Well, look, it's social media, isn't it? And we do appreciate all the feedback, of course. But yeah, it's obviously an issue close to my heart, and yeah, it's a debate that we've often had as Irish football fans with the likes of Jack Grealish and Declan Rice and other people who have got dual or tri nationalities. And, I do, I'm a firm believer in if you put it into the kind of young people early on that they feel Irish and we have a positive engagement with them, that you're not going to lose them. We've got a lot of players, as you explained on the wonderful video, that are potential players for Ireland in the future, and they can play for a number of nations now. That's just the way of the world, and I don't think we should be afraid of, just saying, oh well, because they can head off to England if they really want to. That's just going to happen with anybody. We're going to benefit from it, but we'd also lose out on, as we have seen in the past as well. So I just believe that you have to kind of really, like Kevin Kilban, and Alan McLaughlin, and a whole host of others. David Connolly as well comes to mind. If you're brought up Irish and you're living in London or England or wherever it is, you're going to play for Ireland. It won't be a choice.
I think people need to get a grip a little bit here. There's another comment here saying Liam Delap doesn't want to play for Ireland. Stop discussing it. It's embarrassing. We'll get to that in a second. But I think people need to get a grip here. Like the days of
people having to leave their homes in the 60s, moving over to England on the ferry, the Guinness boat or whatever, and then basically raising his son up to be quite fervently Irish. I think those days are done. Now, where they grow up and they grow up with an Irish accent, because the parents, the communities that they're living in now are very strong Irish strongholds, like in London, Kilburn, those sort of places. That's kind of all done away with now, Like, for example, my sister would be as, she's as English could be, and we were the same father. It's just a generational thing. I think that's kind of done with, and I think we just have to realize that we don't have a talent pool that we should have. We don't have resources in the country that we should have. So we will have to rely on, maybe for the next 2 or 3 footballing generations anyway, next 30 years, maybe relying on second, third generational Irish talent who maybe haven't grown up with a fervour for Ireland or a gra for Ireland, but then maybe grow into it and then realize, actually, no, I like this and like what it's about. I think people just have to kind of wake up to that a bit.
There's some good examples I could imagine, like the likes of Callum Robinson. Be my estimation is that he didn't really feel that way as a child, but when you see him now, it's probably the most enjoyment he gets as a footballer is going away with Ireland. You see how much he posts about Ireland and how much he loves it, and I think he's taken a liking to hurling a lot. And there obviously is other examples out there, but then there'd be other examples like yourself, Martin, who would always be brought up as Irish, but because they have an English accent, they're told you're not Irish or you can't represent Ireland. But
mostly by me.
But these are a lot of these same people are. A lot of these same people are. If you have someone living in Ireland who's Nigerian parents, they try to tell them that they're not actually Irish and they should be playing for Nigeria. So it's a lot of hypocrisy going on in modern football, and you just have to kind of block them out and not listen to them.
100%. Just getting back to some of the comments here, and then we'll move it on. Liam Delap doesn't want to play for Ireland. Stop discussing it. It's embarrassing. Kind of quickly on that one.
I don't know. I don't think anyone knows, because as I mentioned before about Rory Delap, always said that his father always brought them up and would always tell Liam as a child that if you're good enough, you play for Ireland. And I don't know, whatever way, when you get into a system like English football system early, it's probably hard to come out of it, especially when you're playing with mates and you're been brought up like white. What's probably the reason the change in his eyes? Maybe when it gets to senior level, it's different, but especially particularly at underage level.
Yeah. Another one here is where was it? About Job. Job in a thumbnail. Job in the thumbnail. Not a chance. His father and grandmother were England supporters, not to mention his brother. When did he ever reference Ireland? Pure fantasy. And that comes from Clem Fandango.
Yeah, look, even to go back to the context of it, you were speculating about players who have got the qualification to play for Ireland. I know some of it may be a bit dubious, but it is there. And I think it's another important kind of thing to raise. I've said it on the podcast before that, a lot of the Irish lads who came over kind of generation ago, like I'm thinking, I don't know this for a fact, but like Glenn Whelan, even Rory Delap, things like that, they've got kids. They're married to girls as well, or women who are Irish, but sometimes they are married into an English family. So they have that possibility of, if they become a footballer, that their kids can play for both nations. And then you've got, they're not going to hate England. Like, that's absurd. I don't know. I think that's where a lot of this comes from, this negative. Why are we looking at English players who can play for England or who are in England now? They're not Irish. Why are we looking at them? It's not that. It's, I think we should be looking at players who, like I just said, if they were good enough themselves to play for Ireland, and their kids have actually come through as footballers now, we should have them. We should have them wanting to play for Ireland. That's it. They should want to, but don't feel aggrieved if they do think, no, actually, I have been brought up English as well, and I'm going to play for them. We shouldn't be aggrieved by that. Like Delap is the case in point. Let's be honest. If Delap is going to be a very, very good player, he's going to be wanted by England. There will be the Declan Rice situation. They will be saying to him, "You're a top striker," and he's playing Premier League, of course. He's done very well so far. But if England come calling for him, he's going to choose England. He's been brought up in England. That's just going to happen. He hasn't played underage at Ireland. There's going to be no reason. We're only going to get Delap if he just feels, I'm in so much competition here against other lads. There's no point me going here. And we had a very good point of this day, didn't we? At the Lansdowne live show, we did. Clinton Morrison explained it really, really well of how he felt Irish and how he loved being part of the squad and was made to feel so welcome. So I think that's important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think people just have to understand that it's kind of different, and I know it's very difficult for people who are born and bred in Ireland to understand this, who haven't moved out of the country, and they go, well, they should want to play for straight away. Not really, and you got to get realistic. It's the modern world out there, but it doesn't mean that if they do choose to play for Ireland, because okay, they may not be good enough for England, and England, one of the top sides of the world, doesn't mean we should turn our back on. We are in no position to turn our back on anyone who's halfway decent, and that is just fact, folks. So let's just remember that. Let's get a bit realistic.
And on Joe Bellingham, it's a bit weird to say that when his first cousin Louis Barry has already represented Ireland, and he probably will represent Ireland again. And if anyone remembers Jude Bellingham's introduction at Madrid, as they always do when they announce a Galactico, in a sense that a highlight reel of his photos, the very first photo comes up as Jude Bellingham in an Ireland jersey as a child. I'd like to think that his father probably would have been an Ireland fan with having an Irish father.
Most people who are second, third generation and have come across them all the time, they always have a soft spot for Ireland. Okay, they always do, and there will be the Ireland short, that kind of thing. Like my nephew, who was born in September, he's going to be England through and through. But I will do my best, just in case he's any decent at football, by the way. Although he's going to be a West Ham fan, so probably not. Probably end up hating Ireland now. Watch, but no, he's going to have an Irish, because he's got a lineage towards Ireland somewhere. He's going to have that. But he's going to be predominantly England. That's just the way it is. His parents are English. It's just anyway. Martin did rightly say there Lansdowne Legends, we have part 1 at the moment out. If you want to listen to Martin and myself speak to Alan Kelly, Clinton Morrison and Ian Hart, that was live from the London Irish Centre in Camden, recorded in November. It was fantastic. That is part 1. That is out at the moment on YouTube. I'm going to put the link to that in the uploaded version of this, because we do 2 versions of this. We have the live stream, and then we do another version which is uploaded. And of course, part 2 is available on New Year's Day, noon on New Year's Day on YouTube. It's only on YouTube. You can only get it on YouTube. And if you want to hear more about Saipan, another side of Saipan, a few sides of it that you never heard before, that is the place to go. Part 2, Lansdowne Legends. That is available only on YouTube. Right. See your comments coming in, guys. Don't be shy. This is Lansdowne Roar. If this is your first time watching Lansdowne Roar live, shall I say. Same as always, leave a comment, get involved. Anything we speak about, we want to hear your opinion about it. We are, by the fans, for the fans, Irish football's most interactive podcast, and any other else shite I can think of saying that. To comment, get involved. And anything you want to ask us about, even stuff we haven't even spoken about here or thought of, ask away, and we shall answer to the best of our ability. Right, lads, I suppose, shall we get into the topic there? We get stuck in a controversial topic, which came about sort of last night and this morning. I kind of woke up to this, actually, Lance. I had a bit of a late night. And, of course, it is the headline. Claudine Hitzfeld.
She looks well, doesn't she?
She's looking very well. Look at that there.
Looking well.
If I put Claudine's picture up there, no disrespect to Claudine, no one's going to know the fuck she is. So I had to put Robbie Keane. Claudine Keane is the wife of Robbie Keane. Now, Robbie Keane, Ireland legend. Should be untouchable, but he's not. He's polarising in Ireland, which is mental when you think about it. Ireland record caps holder, goal scorer. However, a few choices in the last 5 or so years have sort of made him a polarising figure in Irish football. And, of course, one of them was him becoming the manager of Maccabi Tel Aviv. And, of course, we know the whole thing going on with Israel and Palestine at the moment. Blowing the shit out of each other. Or, actually, more accurately, Israel blowing the shit out of Palestine. And, of course, that Ireland has links with Palestine. That's the whole, without wishing to get too political or, dragged into that. So he took a job in Israel and he came under fire again. So Claudine has come out and defended him. Now, at the end of the day, whether you agree with Robbie Keane or not, Claudine, her husband is getting absolutely battered in the press and has been battered really in the press and by fans alike. And maybe because, there's an argument there, certainly with cause, but at the end of the day, it's her husband. So she's going to stick up for him. Anyway, but Neil O'Riordan shared. Bear with me, folks. It takes a little bit of explaining. But Neil O'Riordan, who writes for The Sun, no problem with Neil, by the way. Anytime I've met him, and Connor, we've met him on the trips. Always been super nice to me, super nice to Connor. So no issue with Neil O'Riordan. But this is what happened. He put a tweet out here. One of the last interviews of 2024 I did was the most interesting. Jimmy Mwanga became the first Irishman to play professionally in China this year, but that's only part of his story. Piece in tomorrow's paper and online. You think, oh, that's nice. And then Claudine went, oh no. Double checking before I read that it's 100% okay with you to play in China, Neil. If you say it's okay, I'll gladly read the article. I usually love your writing, and that's me being genuine. You think, hold on a second. But then when you remember that China has, shall we say, chaps, a bit of a dodgy human rights record and several other things at the moment. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to be targeted by China. Yeah. I mean, she's calling out a bit of a double standard, and she continues. You're usually quite responsive with your followers, Neil. So Neil obviously didn't respond to that. Obviously, you would have checked with your brother, Luke O'Riordan, if this is an okay place to work before writing, I presume. As you know, you guys pick and choose your political position for your agenda. Double standards. There's a couple of more comments there, lads, but I must ask, whether you agree, whether you like her or not, or the position she's taking, she has a point.
Yeah, she's mugged him off. Yeah, she's mugged him off. She got him there. She's got him in a corner, and
she's done him, hasn't she?
Like, I think the best way of him approaching it is just ignore. I think it's the only way of handling it, really, because what can you actually do? How can you even respond? There's no way of responding to that, I don't think.
She has done him, hasn't she, Martin?
Yeah, I think fair play to her. Like, her justification for it is obviously it's impacting on a family life. You know, Robbie went over to Tel Aviv, of course, did very well over there, let's be honest, and from a footballing perspective. Difficult for the family, the situation going on. He's been on another podcast with Rio Ferdinand that he's trying to justify it on there, and that got a lot of publicity in some respects, where he's saying, you know, he's got to look after other people, he's got coaching staff to look after. Very frightening situation as well. And, you know, as you said, Dave, he's a polarizing figure, I think, for a number of other reasons as well. I think Claudine's just got sick of it, to be honest, that it's impacting the boys are all getting a bit older now. They're hearing and seeing their dad being kind of slagged off in the media. They're seeing a lot of hypocrisy with the coverage of the Irish media on things like that with Robbie. And she's calling it out. You know, they wouldn't say it to his face. He is a prominent prominent person in Irish football. Should be beyond reproach. We know that. You've said that really well at the start of the show. But, you know, polarizing, as you said, and I think she's just sticking up for him. He's going to be around the place in Irish football, I think, in future anyway. And I think she's just calling out that they wouldn't actually say stuff to him or her direct. And I have a lot of admiration for her for doing it and coming out like that. And I thought it was very funny as well. Twitter does make me laugh these days anyway. We've all got opinions, of course. But, you know, Hunty commented as well, didn't he? Stephen Hunt. And,
all right,
you know,
Neil.
she's actually then said, she is this Hunty. So I was going to shit stir a little bit on that. I was going to post and say, are we all friends now? Because didn't Robbie take away Noel's goal?
Yeah, as Martin says here, just for the audio version, Stephen Hunt got involved. Are you still all right, Neil? You still there? And then Claudine goes, "Is this Hunty?" Stephen Hunt responds, "Yep, all good. Hope you and the gang had a nice Christmas and you." Neil O'Riordan with a little winky face, shit stirring, obviously. Claudine responds, "Great Christmas. Bit busy at the moment, plotting his next." Neil O'Riordan's a bit busy at the moment, plotting his next character assassination attempt, or assignation, as she's. Hope you and gang all keeping well. Happy New Year. And also another comment she made here. This is the article, by the way, one of the articles Neil had written about Robbie. Robbie Keane has taken himself out of race to be next Ireland manager and has only himself to blame. And Claudine says about this, losing credibility by the article, Neil, double standards and hypocrisy. Stop trying to other someone who did everything for the country. Also, at least tried to hide promoting Bose for your brother, who is PR for them and being a mouthpiece for your brother's political party. Who is Neil Bruden's brother, by the way? What's that about?
Politician, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah. Left. Did he leave Fianna Fáil and then went?
Well,
Sinn
Saz
Féin
only
and
scored.
was
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Go
I've
on
seen
then.
it.
Oh,
So
that-
we are recording live. I know we're recording live, but we are keeping an eye on well, you know, Fianna Zaz football as the
Fianna Zaz
fanboy
ball.
there. There he
pay
is.
attention, lads. We got over
Sorry.
600 people watching us. Come on.
Fianna Zaz over there. There he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that they've absolutely done Neil O'Riordan up there. See, this is why you got to be so careful when you mix politics and football, because you're going to get done. You know, it's so entangled out there. People are just waiting for you to everyone wants to weaponize everything, and they're just waiting for you to slip up.
But
I mean,
the problem as well, I think, with Keane is he was already in the bad books with people in Irish football circles after being on 250 grand a year over
Yeah.
the FAI contract, which, in fairness, like he had no obligation to do anything about it because the FAI were paying him that money, but he probably could have handled that better at the time. But
yeah, that bothered me big time. That did. Trying to steer away from the politics, but that bothered me big time with the contract. He didn't need it to, unless he needed 250 grand. I said it for years in this podcast. Just hand it back or give it a charity. Say, look, I'm not happy about this, but I understand. You know, and he did nothing wrong. Like, let's be honest, he did nothing wrong, nothing illegal. He was entitled to that money. But you know, he could have put that £1 million or whatever it was back into Irish football. Say, look, I'm not happy about this, but I'm doing this because it's the right thing for Irish football. And people go, you know, well done, fair play to you, Robbie. But he didn't.
He would never be called out as much as he is if he'd done that. And that's, you know, he can't need the money, like he can't. So it was like in the context of that situation, that's the only thing I would agree with him, because, you know, geez, we had a Robbie Keane as a footballer now, it'd be amazing. Like, you know, and you think how he carried the country for so long as well. I know with others as well, we had a good side, but, like, you know, the man who puts the ball in the net, and he did perform for us on the big stage as well. So,
oh yeah,
and you know, look, even looking back at his club career, very, very good. It's festive season, isn't it? I mean, do the quiz of that. Robbie Keane's clubs. I got however many. I got one wrong. I couldn't remember one of them, but it's a good quiz I saw recently. But
Probably
because he's been everywhere.
Yeah,
it was the Indian team. Yeah,
Qatar.
You know, should be beyond reproach. You know, and I think that gesture was so important for him to do that, because I wasn't comfortable as well, let's be honest, with him, you know, kind of getting it, you know, being cheeky and getting Mick to bring him in as a coach or whatever. You know, did he have the credentials for that?
Basically told Mick, he told the FBI, didn't he? According to the book, anyway. I want to be.
Yeah, but then contractually, like they messed that up. I know he's entitled to it, but it just would have been a fantastic gesture, because the context of this, for people who perhaps don't understand it, was all coming out. We're absolutely skint, and yet we still had someone in the FAI taking money out, and he wasn't seen to be doing very much. Now, I would love it to come out that he's given loads of money to, and I know, you know, anyone, you know, every time I get a taxi in Dublin, you talk about Robbie Keane or talk about anything Irish football, Robbie will come up. Oh, he's a great lad, or you'll get the opposite, and you'll hear that, oh, he gave money he paid for this pitch and things like that. I'm sure he's invested back into Irish football a lot more. But it was the perception of he's taking money out and doing nothing, and it was an ambassadorial role in a sense. And you know, he's on the UEFA gig, doing well with that. You know, all the finals and things like that. So that was just that didn't strike well with me at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a shame, really, but it's always the same in Irish football, isn't it? Players that should be beyond reproach end up being polarizing. Why is it with Keane's? Hey, what is
One
it?
thing though, just on it,
Will
Dave,
Keane's a good lad.
If he was like in club management now, right? If he'd gone, this is a key question. If he'd gone from, you know, Tel Aviv, come back, went into a club, which isn't, you know, that could possibly happen. You think of like Rooney doing a crap job or somewhere, and the players that get in these jobs. with very little credentials. He's actually won a title somewhere. So if he came in and he'd done a really, really good job, I think I wouldn't be surprised in future that we are clamoring for him. And that's what I'm disappointed with. I'd love him to go and do that. You know, I'd love him. I don't want to see him on podcasts and things unless he's going to come on ours with Claudine. But I want to see him go and make a club career in a high-profile league here in England or in Ireland.
There is talks, actually, Martin. I did see something the other day. He is linked with some job in Turkey, some Turkish side.
Yeah, he needs to be over here in England. Yeah. Like he needs to be. Listen,
here in England.
Well, I want him. I want him to do well, and I really want him. I want him to do well. And the same kind of, to be very fair as well. If John O'Shea had done the same and got a club job somewhere, and was really, really good, then we'd be clamoring for him. That puts pressure on. Like that. That's the reason Stephen Kenny was so long in a job. We had nobody ready to come in to replace him. That's why he got the extension of the contract as well. There was nobody good enough, and that's what we need now. Like we have a shortage of players, and we're starting to sort that out now. But we need these lads getting good. Good jobs, coaching at high levels and doing well. Yeah. And then you put managers under pressure then, which is a good thing, I think. Our Irish managers should be under pressure to get results because, look, actually, we have got an option now where we can bomb you out and we'll look at bringing you in. So I'd like to see him do that.
Yeah, it is a crazy situation with Robbie. And look, to be honest with you, if he did, I don't like. If you're good enough, you're good enough. I don't really care what you're. That for me, if he goes to England and he does really well, and a situation comes up where he's actually in the front run for the manager's job and he got it, I'd support. I'd get behind. I get behind whoever is the manager. Would I ask questions? Of course I would. We ask questions about the current guy, Heimer. But we'll be fair. We'll get behind him, and I would get behind Robbie Keane if he's good enough. If he proves himself in a club setting, he's won one title. Probably should have done better in Europe as well. I think didn't they throw away like a 3-goal lead or something stupid. He took him the farthest I've ever been in Europe, but he's got to kind of has to do it again. He has to do it at a higher level, and sure we'll see. But I don't know. It's a strange one. That it's just weird. Like he's had a few jobs at where was he? Was Middlesbrough. Jonathan Woodgate, number 2, got thrown out of there.
Was it Leeds?
Leeds with Sam Allardyce. Yeah. Got bombed out of there as well. When he got relegated. Sorry, Connor, what were you going to say?
Did he have something at Villa at one stage, was he? Was there one stage it was him and John Terry on the backroom staff when John Terry was assistant, was he there doing something at one stage?
Yeah, something like that, wasn't he?
Now he's been a manager though. I can't see him going in anywhere as an assistant again or a coach. I think that's just going to be he wants the main job. He probably has gone for jobs as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. Like it's just the way it is. Anyway, I'm sure this saga will go on, lads. We'll get into. Are you ready for a bit of oi big?
Martin, you make sure to point him out if he's wrong.
Yeah, there's a fair chance of that, actually, to be fair. Yes, of course, this is, and the two lads, I'm sure, will point out with glee if I've got something wrong. Here we go. So this is just to preface this, it's the games that have happened today. There is one from Friday.
Oh my God, what a miss. Sorry, just Martin would have seen it there.
What are you fucking paying attention? Like, see what I'm folks, what I'm up against.
We're listening to you. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, be engaged for fuck's sakes. Have you seen my past record, I big? No way I haven't got anything fucking wrong. I need you. Right, just to preface I think it's the Brentford game, because they don't have a game their game was like 2 days ago, so there isn't one this week that I could find anywhere, so that's why.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, there you go. Yeah. So anyway, right here we go. Queeving Kelleher, an unused sub in Liverpool's 5-0 fabulous win. Mark Travers, unused sub for Bournemouth again. Mark O'Leary, 90 minutes and 3-0 win over Portsmouth for Bristol City. Josh Keeley, 90 minutes and 2-0 win over Cambridge United. Leighton Orient. Gavin Mizuno, still injured. Don't actually know when he's going to be back. Was that okay, chaps? Yeah, we all happy.
What about Josh Keeley? Nine clean sheets in 12 games. Highest percentage record in the EFL. He's on fire.
Yeah.
I believe there was talks that Spurs wanted to bring him back, but he wants to stay at Leighton Orient and get the full season playing every week on loan.
I had a
Fucking
chat with him the other night.
unbelievable.
I didn't have a chat with him, but I did see him pre-season, of course, for Tottenham against Enfield Town. And one thing about him, I was speaking to someone about him the other night when he watched him last year at Barnet quite a bit, and he was saying that back then, I think he's getting better, but I think he was just very prone to mistakes. Positioning wasn't always great. I think he was more focusing on, in a way, dare I say it, trying to be like a Kelleher, trying to speed a Bazunu, like really comfortable, showing, oh yeah, I can take the ball at my feet and all that stuff. But yeah, can't knock it. Been really,
He's
really
gone to
good.
another level this year.
Yeah,
so
which is
let's
great,
see.
and that's going to put pressure on.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It's good. Hopefully, he gets a championship move next season. Yeah, because he needs to move out of League One if he's going to really make a go.
It's only a loan deal anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm sure Spurs will get a good loan from the year after.
Well, state that their team at the moment, he might get a run in the first team next season. Probably should get one now. Right, on to the defenders, folks. Keep your eyes peeled. Seamus Coleman wasn't in the squad. I'm going to ask you about that, Connor, why that was. Darrell O'Shea plays Monday for Ipswich Town. Nathan Collins, 90 minutes and 0-0 with Brighton a couple of days ago. Liam Scales, 90 minutes and a 4-0 win over St. Johnstone for Celtic. Shane Duffy, 90 minutes and a 1-1 against QPR for Norwich City. Mark McGuinness, 90 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Swansea for Luton Town. Colin McDowd in 89 minutes and an assist and a 2-1 win over Watford, Cardiff City. Matt Hardy, 90 minutes and a 2-2 draw with Spurs. Jake O'Brien, unused sub for Everton. Warming the bench at Goodison. Ryan Manning, 4 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Crystal Palace. They were ahead in that game for a bit. Andrew Amabamidele not in the squad again for Nottingham Forest. Robbie Brady still injured at the moment. Rib injury, I believe. Jimmy Dunn played as a centre-back today in a 1-1 draw against Norwich. John Egan, late kick-off today. I'm sure he's on the bench somewhere. Aaron Cashin still injured for Derby County. And Samuel Garcia McNulty, they're on a winter break over in the Netherlands. Will Ferry, 90 minutes, a 1-0 win over Aberdeen for Dundee United. And James Abanqua, 18 minutes and a 2-2 draw with Torino for Udinese. Can you take the fucking vibration off your phone? It's driving me mad.
Sorry, I'll put on Do Not Disturb. But,
These youngsters.
But all I'm going to say is, Martin, he made a mistake. He forgot to include Will Ferry assisted the 94th minute winner for Dundee United today. Unacceptable. Unacceptable, David Dunn.
Finger on the pulse. Dave.
Yeah.
Couple of bits, just to O'Dowda, brilliant assist within a minute. Callum Robinson, that's a spoiler alert for when you go through the attackers later on. But I did go on Monday night to watch Arsenal against Ipswich at the Emirates. Shite game, to be honest. But Darrell O'Shea was interesting to watch. I thought he had a really good game, really solid there. And he was really, really good, actually. I mean, they were dreadful, Ipswich. It was, as I said, it was a poor game. But he was the one who stopped. It would have been a fantastic goal by Irish Declan. But he stopped it, actually. He saved it on the line. Well, not on the line, but it would have gone in. But that was he was very, very solid, I thought, Darrell O'Shea. And he's someone who I think is really going to be important for us in the next campaign. Because I think you're on the last show as well, you were talking about the lack of right backs and stuff. He can play there. He can play all along that back four. I think he's going to be a key player for us now because he's going to be playing regularly. Yeah. And another quick thing I'd say as well, Jimmy Dunn. I got a message from a QPR fan of mine, not Declan Finnegan, but
really?
a message of a friend of mine that goes to QPR.
You're a QPR fan.
Yeah, that's it. And he was saying like how Jimmy Dunn's not getting a look in with Ireland is criminal because he's playing really, really well there now, centre back for them. So, I
wouldn't say centre back
as well.
No,
I think not necessarily. Not necessarily him centre back there, but
I think it's a centre back. He's a League One level player.
I don't think they fancy him today, though. Ireland, like that's the thing. He's been in enough. He's always on the periphery of squad. He's never really been given opportunity.
But I think Martin. I think the move to right back over the last, it has been a year now at this stage, has made a huge difference to his ceiling as such. And the thing is, Coleman and Doherty were both playing a decent amount of minutes last year in the Premier League at right back, and it is hard just to come in and just say someone, because there's always that sort of thing, especially when you're a club fan of a player. And you'd always, it's particularly the same with Derby fans. It's always, how is our Aaron Cashin not walking into the Ireland squad, because people actually don't realise that we have a decent amount of depth in these positions. Like even if you look at right back, like James Abankwa is starting to get more and more minutes with Udinese. He played 45 minutes a couple of days before Christmas. Actually played 2 halves a couple of days before Christmas, and then he played 20 minutes today. Like he's a centre back he usually plays on the right of a back three, but he would have played a lot of right back coming up through at St. Pat's, and his ability to carry a ball up the pitch would take him ahead of the likes of Jimmy Dunn. Although Jimmy Dunn has every chance of making the March squad if he keeps up this form, but it's just like there is a decent amount of options, especially if Darragh O'Shea is considered, and Matt Doherty, as much as everyone hates saying it, is actually playing well at the moment, but that is in a back three in fairness. And actually on Coleman, Dave, I actually couldn't see it online, and I texted my mate who works for Everton, and he gave out to me for not doing a good job of rep tracking, but he said that he picked up a knock against Man City or something, even though I didn't. I know he came out off with a couple of minutes to go, but I just thought that was a substitution. He didn't look injured, so it must have been something very slight.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course he wound up Erling Haaland, didn't he? Put him off for the penalty. Merry Christmas. Yeah. Good stuff. Right, let's move it on to midfield. Josh Cullen, late kickoff, playing at the moment for Burnley against Middlesbrough. Jason Knight, 90 minutes, a 3-0 win over Portsmouth for Bristol. Jason Malumbi, 90 minutes, and a 1-1 draw with Sheffield United for West Brom. Finn Azaz playing at the moment, as Connor will attest to. Andy Morris, 71 minutes, and a 1-0 win over Sunderland for Stoke City. New manager as well. Jack Taylor, they play tomorrow for Ipswich. Jamie McGrath, 90 minutes, and a 1-0 loss against Dundee United for Aberdeen. Will Smallbone, Cousin Will, still out injured. Massive layoff for him. Alan Brown injured as well. Really having a torrid time with Sunderland injury-wise at the moment. Mark Sykes also still injured for Bristol City. Luke O'Connell, 90 minutes and a 3-1 win over Peterborough United for Barnsley. Boston Lawal, not really featuring the last couple of games for Stoke City. New manager, as I said earlier. Conor Coventry, 90 minutes and 2-1 win over Wycombe Wanderers for Charlton. And Rockabata, 57 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Cardiff for Watford.
Oh, no. You've done it again.
What have we done?
You're so stuck in your O'Dowda love, your love for Callum O'Dowda, that you forgot that Rockabata assisted the Watford goal.
Oh, shit, he did, didn't he?
Yeah. And you forgot to put in the most important thing of the whole week, Finn Azaz, 2 goals and assists on Boxing Day. I know you're technically not counting that as part of this, but you just have to put it in there because he's the king.
Just for the record, Connor called it Boxing Day. Connor lives in North. Just saying.
I keep doing it. When you watch football on Sky Sports, it doesn't help, does it?
Has anyone got the Brian, was it Broy, the Stephen
Maria
thing
Ned
from
Broy.
From Michael Collins, the G-man making a list.
But apologies for that.
No, don't worry about that, Dave. Just let that one go. Get the audio up and get that as a get a Ned Broy little clip, and we'll have that up there. And
see when he likes to get that on that one, Connor.
Yeah, we'll get 5,500 views of that, will we?
Yeah. No, you won't.
But just bit of breaking news. Finn Azaz had a good chance as Connor has jumped around there in his seat a few times this evening. Watching that, had a shot well saved. Also, him and Josh Cullen have both been booked this evening, so that's a little bit.
Josh Cullen, the first half, was best player on the pitch. He's kind of phased out the second half. Burr started to step it up a bit, but actually, Malumbi got man of the match today. He was absolutely brilliant against Sheffield United, who are currently they're second now, but to go away to Bramall Lane and be the best player on the pitch, he was running around like a madman, breaking lads up, which was good to see. And actually, on Boston Lawal, I watched his 10-minute cameo unbox on Stephen's Day again. As Stephen's Day. And he actually, to fairness, he didn't look anywhere near his full fitness, which is expected because he hadn't played since pre-season with Celtic, which was in August. And he probably could have done with a few under-21 games to get fit first. And then I realised that there's no under-21 games at Christmas Day, have a bit of a winter break. So it's probably he's trying to get fit whilst playing matches at the same time, which is hard to do. But yeah, it was a good St. Stephen's Day for everyone, and anyone who calls it Boxing Day needs to put down.
Yeah, damage is done, mate. What's that in the distance? Is that the horse far away over the hill? Right, let's move on to the attackers. Or forwards, I should say. Ferguson plays Monday for Brighton. Didn't do much of note in the last couple of games. Troy Parrott, winter break for AZ Alkmaar. Alameda, 22 minutes and 4-0 win over St Johnstone for Celtic. Tom Cannon, last minute winner for Stoke City over Sunderland. Sami Smodic plays Monday for Ipswich Town. Festi Abasella, 33 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Cardiff today. My mate was at that, actually. She's a season ticket holder. Casey McAteer out injured for a few weeks for Leicester City. Mikey Johnson, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw with Sheffield United for West Brom. Chidozie Ogbeni still out for Ipswich. Callum Robinson, 2 goals in a 2-1 win over Watford. Michael Obafemi out injured. More on him in a second. Aaron Connolly, 30 minutes in a 1-0 loss against Stoke City today for Sunderland. Sinclair Armstrong still out injured as well. And Tyler Goodrum, 86 minutes in a 2-0 win over Plymouth Argyle. I typed in Michael Obafemi to have a look and go, right, why is he, what's his injury like? Like, what's it about? I've typed in Michael Obafemi injury. And it came up loads of different dates over the last couple of years. Michael Obafemi injured. This is just a recurring theme for this guy. Do we know, Colin, do you know how long he's out for?
I don't know. It's a groin injury. I'd imagine he tore his groin, but I've seen stuff on Twitter that doesn't look great in his favour. What people are saying about him in Plymouth, about just a couple of times he hasn't turned up the training and stuff, and there's a bit of disharmony in the Plymouth group over bad attitude by a few lads. And I know there's always been the talk that Michael Obafemi is the nicest lad you'll ever meet, but his attitude at times is a bit questionable, even though half the time it's said to be that he doesn't mean to have a bad attitude. It's just the way his laid back approaches, and sometimes way too laid back.
Isn't it just as well, lads, that they have just the right manager at Plymouth Argyle to sort out Michael Obafemi?
That is the thing that I think it's a bit of a mess there, isn't it? Rooney there, and they're not going to do well. It's not going to work out. We know it's not going to work out, but I mean, it was a strange move. We're hoping he was, he just goes, he takes a step forward, then he goes 2 back, doesn't he, Obafemi?
Yeah.
And
he's so talented, and he just,
yeah.
I think I remember Stephen Kenny's last press conference after the New Zealand game. He was sitting in the press conference, and he was all emotional, and he was praising all the players. And the one player he emphasised the most was Michael Obafemi, saying that lad is so talented, and if we can get Michael Obafemi fit and playing, he could be such a big asset to Ireland and what the damage he could do. But obviously, I don't know whether it's because obviously there is always a sense with injuries, if you're constantly getting injured, somewhat has to be pointed at him. But he is obviously an injury prone type player, like we've seen with players. Like, he is absolutely rapid, and we've always seen with these really, really fast players are constantly picking up these niggly hamstring injuries or groin injuries.
I've said it before that he's a sprinter basically, and you're going to get those injuries. He's like a sprinter who plays football, and that's it. And yeah, he's got talent and stuff because he's obviously able to play, and you think of his incredible goals he's got. But yeah, he's not kicked on though and become the main man. And I think we're guilty of as Ireland fans of just hyping him up a little bit when we have a player into a window within the camp who scores a few goals. We get so carried away with it, and then they're undroppable for the next game and things like that. Whereas, I think even back to Callum Robinson scoring like a hat trick or whatever, then he probably believes, I'm starting the next game, and I don't think that should necessarily be the case of the manager for that. So that's just us, I think, getting a bit carried away with it. I mean, look, you boys have done it before, and we'll come on to the comments, I'm sure, soon. But I mean, you look how carried away you are when Didsy's 1 goal in his Irish career.
8 man of matches out of 13 games. That's probably the best record in Irish football in history.
Man of matches.
And also, it just came to my head. It actually came to me.
He has got 8 caps. Actually,
cousin Will's back training. Actually, there was a photo of him training on Christmas Day with Southampton. And as is Gavin Mizuno, he's in full training.
Yeah, Mizuno as well.
And actually, sorry to inform you, Dave, but Martin, he's done it again. He put Mikey Johnson started today. He must have played 71 minutes, did he? Because you said 19 minutes. And Tyler Goodrum got an assist.
Yeah. Did Tyler go? Oh.
Yeah, he assisted. He got assisted from a corner.
Oh God. Well, that's why I have you two pair of fuckers
Yeah.
anyway, making sure that I do everything.
Constant mistakes. It's like even calling it Boxing Day when
Oh.
it's clearly St. Stephen's Day, and now you're doing this. I'm done with you, man.
I mean, one fella calling it Boxing Day around here, sunshine. I told you, like fucking. Yeah. Anyway, right. So there you go. That's the iBig from this week, and we'll have another one next week. That's what you think of the comments. Bit of a quiet night, I must say. I mean, it is Christmas, to be fair. So
The darts is on, isn't it?
and the darts is on. I've switched that crap off. I've no interest in that.
Too quick for you and entertaining, is it? I'd rather watch two blokes tuck a ball behind a white ball, pink, and all that stuff. Oh.
What we
Snooker,
God.
snooker
What
loopy
the
boy, isn't it? You're
fuck are
snooker
you
loopy. You who's like snooker?
Yeah, I like snooker. What's wrong with that?
Snooker and cricket the other day.
Yeah.
What's wrong with snooker?
That's why you have the
Yeah. Enough said, Martin. Enough said. We've said
snooker is a game of skill, and I mean, I haven't watched it recently because I don't really like the players that are in it at the moment because I think there's a dearth of talent in sport in general right now. But anyway, yeah, snooker's a great game. It's better than fucking darts anyway.
No.
And then people
You have to be extremely fit to play darts, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah. What your right hand? Right. Let's get to the comments. Yeah, fucking darts. Give me a break. Boom. No, actually, no, not to the
We
comments.
haven't discussed our other things, Dave.
No, we haven't, have we? That is our best and worst of 2024. So we're going to give our opinion on what has been our worst moments of 2024. I can think of a few, lads. Pair you sit in front of me.
Lads. I can think of a few lads. I can think of a few lads. Yeah, go on.
And of course, our best moments as well. So we're going to ask you guys out there, the Roar faithful, your best and worst moments of 2024. And we're going to talk about our best and worst moments of 2024. So, who wants to start?
Martin, I nominate.
Martin, your best moment? No, your worst moment of 2024.
Well, from a footballing perspective, I think it was obviously the women. That was disappointing, not qualifying for the Euros in 2025. The men's, it took a long time to get us going as well. I know that's a bit of a hangover from the last year, and even Stephen Kenny alluded to this, didn't he? That in the podcast, I think with I don't know what they are, second captains, third captains, I don't know. But they he alluded to the fact that it took so long to appoint and we've lost a bit. We lost that March window, and I'd say that was disappointing overall as well, that we waited so long to get the manager in, because I hope that won't be costly for us down the line. But that would be the disappointing things for me, Dave. Them two things predominantly, I think.
And the best?
Oh, and the 5-0, of course. The 5-0 loss. That was very disappointing. The best thing for me, obviously, Lansdowne Live that we did, the show in Camden.
Yeah.
With 3 Irish legends. And we had a fantastic weekend. I know I've just mentioned the football as being one of the worst things. Football is obviously a distraction at times. But we had a brilliant weekend with Alan Kelly, Andy Reid, Clint Morrison, and Ian Hart. And yeah, it's brilliant interaction with all the Irish fans as well. And also one of the best things as well, seeing how well the podcast has been doing and the interaction with the Royal Faithful, especially when we go on our travels. It's brilliant seeing fans come up to us and have a chat and go, oh, yeah, I'm listening to it, enjoy it and stuff. We're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, of course, especially you, Dave. But, I'm
a coffee drinker, Martin.
Yeah, but we all have, we all have our opinions, and that's it. And that's why we've done the podcast. And one of the other best things, as I said as well, is bringing Connor in with his knowledge of the lads. I'll be nice to Connor because you're so horrible to him, Dave.
Thank you so
horrible
much.
to him.
Thank you so much. At least that's valued in the podcast.
But seriously, as well, the away trip where Ireland won in the last minute, seeing the rise of Festy, I think he's going to be a very popular Irish player going forward. And the new manager, hopes are high. So I think that was a brilliant. Well, it wasn't a brilliant performance, but it was a brilliant result, and it was badly needed in Irish football to give us that lift now going into the next campaign.
Fair enough. Connor, what about yourself? Worst moments of 2024?
Still no. The worst moment for me was at Ireland under 21's ending of that campaign. I was so
Like, you were
gutted. I've never been so
devastated, weren't you?
gutted in a long time. I don't know. It was just I felt the connection to that team. That team was, a lot of them players are the future of Irish football. I think a lot of them are going to be top players. And I honestly thought they could have went to the Euros next summer and went a real go at going the whole way in the competition. And the fact they didn't qualify from the group, they were the best team by far, and was just gutting. And it wasn't just that they were a talented bunch of lads. It was, they were actually a real good group of lads that really should have done more. And like, it's just so disappointing in the end it didn't qualify. And it was more shocked that it didn't qualify in my eyes than anything. And then the England game at home, that just nearly killed me. Just them two scoring, and just people talk about the 5-0 being bad. No, that was more acceptable because we went down to 10 men. But when them two frauds scored, that just was just disgraceful.
I mean, what were the chances of that though? Like, yeah, I was sitting across from you, Connor, Martin, and I just, you see the net, it's like, for fuck's sake, they've scored. And then you see the player kind of running away, and you see the haircut, and you go, no. Oh God! And then you see
it was just one man in particular. It was just one man. But I can't say what I think of him, but just one man. We know one of the two, just one of them.
No, but then you see the other one, boom, 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 and the net go 2-0 for fun. And then you see another distinctive hairstyle, and you go, no. No, please, no, come on. And the abuse I was getting as well from people, from friends of mine, former friends of mine over here, go, I hope you're having a really good, that was one of them, I hope you're having a really good day, a little smiley emoji.
I had to put my phone on airplane mode. I was getting phone calls in the middle of the match. People trying to ring me.
Probably from Declan Rice, were you? Jude Bellingham's dad. Yeah, it was that was quite painful. But I mean, I thought Lee Carty was going to come off and fucking, make it 3-0 somehow. Although, I mean, he couldn't even do that when he was playing for Ireland, bless him. Your best moment, other than sitting next to me and joining the pod, of course?
He had a really
Finland
good
away. That one, there's not that many good memories. It's just the bad memories just override the good memories so much from 2024. Just there's so many different sagas in Irish football. There's just something new every week. It's probably just is that one moment in Finland where it seemed like everything was on the right thing. Also, I'd throw in the Shamrock Rovers run in Europe, even the St. Pat's run from where they were coming from, beating teams when they should have done better with. So, or beating teams that were ranked a lot higher than them. But there's not that many highs this year, but there will be next year.
Maybe to be just go on, Dave. I know you're going to come in with your ones. Go on.
No, go on. You go. You go first.
No, I was just saying, like, player wise, I know we'll come on to cover it, but no, I do want to hear. We need some more comments on this. Like, give us your feedback of what was your best moment, even players that you've been really impressed with, who you're looking forward to seeing next year. Because I think we have had a number of players now coming in. Like Tom Cannon is scoring goals, Parrott's away scoring goals. We want to see goal scorers. I do want to see Evan Ferguson get a January move if he's not going to be given more time. Because I think he's really exciting. Like, just to come on to watching Ipswich the other night, I wasn't greatly impressed with the lap at all. To be honest, I know it's against Arsenal, but Evan Ferguson, when I've seen him against high level players as well, he's a lot more secure with the ball and everything. So I think Evan is the one still for me. And yeah, I think another big positive for me for this year is definitely Kelleher. I thought Bazunu was going to be a big loss, and I know Kelleher's absolute quality, but he has really proved that to me this year. I put my anti-Liverpool bias aside, and but I'd like him to see him get out of Liverpool as well and not be held.
And you're forgetting the rise of Finn Azaz has been a great moment for Irish football. I think it's just been, I've been proved right yet again, don't doubt me.
And the continuation of Callum O'Dowd doing well in an Ireland shirt as well has definitely got to be mentioned.
He had his first good game in 6 years against England for 45 minutes. But it's been a good, actually, it's been a good end.
Which was the best 45 minutes. That someone's actually said that on the best 45 minutes Ireland have had for many years. So
Well, sure, we had
coincidence.
0 shots. But no, it's good to end the year with Rocco Vata starting to break out into a potential star, and James Abankwa as well. And we've Andy Moore starting to kick on. Boston Dowell's back. I know he hasn't really played because he's not fit, but there's still positives to take into next year, and we'll qualify for World Cup 2026, and hopefully Dave will make it to then.
All right, Dave, what's yours, Dave?
My worst one, probably this year, football related. Lot of bad stuff personally. It's been a challenging year. Obviously, big lad, thinking of you.
Oh yeah.
Still can't believe he's not here, to be honest with you. But there you go. Probably the worst one football wise was the loss of my entire Lansdowne Road archive.
Here he goes.
What do you mean here? It's a big fucking part of what we do. Yep.
Post edit of this. Can you add violence to this one? We've heard this a lot.
You know what club team is sports anyway, Martin, don't you? Such a victim.
Yeah. What?
He went there. He went there with it.
What did he say?
He said you're a victim.
Set and move on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Can't hear you all the way down there in the 13th. But anyway, although next week, folks, the Liverpool Man United special. That's going to be interesting. Are you going to make it, Martin? Connor won't be on it. Well, you better be on it, Martin.
I'll be on it.
Good stuff. That'll be live 9 o'clock. Basically my hard drive, all my files gone. I've had to start all over again. That's why
when the police come knocking,
the football police. No, just football on that one anyway. No. Basically, I had to start all over again with Lansdowne Road. I'm rebuilding. That's why, by the way, the content on Lansdowne Road last few month or so hasn't been as consistent because I've had to rebuild, and the backup hard drive went as well in a space of a couple of days. But anyway, it could be worse, couldn't it? Could be Man U fan. I suppose other things as well. The fights with EasyJet weren't pleasant when you bring in podcast.
Football.
This is football. What do you think I'll get a fucking EasyJet flight for to Dublin? Oh, when I'm supporting the Ireland team.
Right, we don't want your life story. Can you give us your 2 moments, please?
Listen, this is the most interesting this podcast has fucking been. Boxing Day over there. Fucking boxing.
Come on, lift the audience now. Come on, give us a positive.
Oh, you asked me my worst bit.
No. Look, positives now.
I think the 2-0. I think the 2-0 at home to England, and the nature of that was quite painful. It was funny, I suppose, in a way.
No, it wasn't.
It was funny. Come on, you got to laugh these things, Connor. Come on, you fucking snowflake. That's the problem, Martin, with these children, isn't it? Like, they have no character about them. I mean, carrying away the world on the shoulders or in the pockets. Best moment would be Finland, I think. That was nice. We were terrible in that game, but it was an important win. It was an important psychological boost as well. And I think we could have a very promising 2025, but I think that was the best. That was the best one. And obviously doing Lansdowne Legends with yourself, Mara, I thought was great. Just for me, what a very cool experience. Someday, Connor, you'll experience that as well, son.
I know Connor was very important that night as well. It's worth a listen to because we do acknowledge that, although I'm the oldest and wisest of the show, Connor is only a young lad, and he said it was like having a history lesson.
It was
sitting there listening to
all the stories. If you go to the YouTube channel, you go click most popular video, you look at the views and you see whose video is idea is that.
Motherfucker, I'm on that video with you too, don't forget.
That's the young generations who need this education. They need everything given to them. They haven't lived it like we have. No. So it was lovely for us to have that moment, as Dave was alluding to, chatting to people that we were actually at the World Cup watching and watched Money Night in the old Lansdowne Road, in the freezing cold. If you can do it on a Tuesday night in the old Lansdowne Road.
No, actually, sorry, Martin, just correct you there. On a Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday afternoon, yeah.
See, right over Connor's head.
Football without floodlights.
Right over his head. What year did Lansdowne Road get floodlights, Connor?
1987.
No, it was actually 1994. What was it? 93, 94. Oh yeah, just like 6-7 years off. Like
That's close. There's been since.
Yeah.
So it's been over 2,000 years. I'm close enough. It's
Right,
AD.
whatever. It's getting
AD.
silly now. It's getting silly. I mean, there are best and worst moments, folks. We're going to move it on. We're going to find out. Go into the comments. Quiet night tonight. I suppose it is Christmas time. The darts are on because fuck knows why people. I suppose people want to watch Gavin and Stacey as well. I mean, I bet you watch Gavin and Stacey, Martin, don't you?
I did watch Gavin and Stacey. Yeah.
Fucking knew
Of course, you did as well, Dave.
I did, but that was I had no choice in that matter. I went around to they cut me Christmas dinner. No, they cut me Christmas dinner. And it was actually lovely, by the way. So I had to watch it. Right, let's get into the comments and then let's get the fuck out of here. Not that I wanted, by the way. I do enjoy it. Right, let's get into a quiet night here tonight. It is Christmas time, to be fair. But let's get through those comments. Keep them coming in, by the way. We will be live for maximum the next 30 or so minutes. First one in P. Ireland. Good week for the Irish overseas. Come on, boys in green. Hasn't been bad, lads, has it? Like, it's been a decent bit of form overall. Not perfect, but it never is it?
Yeah, it's been good. No, it's been good to see people scoring goals, playing quite well, playing for their clubs, getting game time. It's all pretty positive. So yeah, looking forward to it. Like I always say about the FA Cup starting in January, I think that's an important one for some of our players who, where there is squad rotation, things like that at some of these clubs. And yeah, hopefully a couple of lads who aren't getting game time, like I said, Evan Ferguson earlier, like to see him get a move now. He's not playing enough for me, so he has to be thinking about getting that regular game time.
Yeah. Dean Flood, agree with Dave. Just read that bit again. Agree with Dave on the whole dual nationals. No reason someone can't feel Irish and some other nation. Take Clint Morrison playing for Ireland made him feel more Irish. There you go. Good man, Dean Flood. And then he comes in on that, the dual nationality thing we were talking about earlier on. People can play for whoever they like. It's not an issue unless they do a Declan Rice. Your pal Declan Rice, Connor. When you got to see that beautiful historic moment in Lansdowne Road in September when he scored.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh God. Isn't Keane asks, he's supposed to be going to manage a team in Turkey? Jesus, if the Turks can deal with Robbie's past, Ireland can.
He's been linked to
Yeah, Connor, you alluded to that. Which club is that, Connor? Do you know?
It's called Faith something. Their team is called Faith.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not high profile enough though. He's got to be in the Championship minimum for me. League One maybe, but he's not going to win. He's not going to do it.
Have a lot of money behind them, and they could be building something. I don't know anything about them, but they could be building something. There could be a reason why they're getting a high profile manager to attract high profile players or something.
Fake something. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Faith something.
I don't know. Let me have a look at this. Let the excellent elocution have a go at this.
Team is called
Faith Garamuruk.
Yeah, see.
Gumruk. Kara Gumruk.
I don't know who's linking them to him or what. Probably the Turkish press, but
yeah, Faith Kara Gumruk. Never heard of them. Never heard of them. It's always Fenerbahce, isn't it? And got a test right. Two teams that get on very, very well. But I mean, wherever Robbie goes, best luck to him. Baylor. Is there a reason for Ebicelli not starting, Connor?
I think they've switched to a 4-3-3 the last couple of weeks, and he kept getting yellow cards every week, and it was a bit of a liability because he kept getting yellow cards. So I think cleverly dropped him for that, and then they went to a 4-3-3. Like he came onto the right wing, so it's probably fighting for a right wing spot at the moment, and that's where Rocco Vata played today, and he got an assist.
Fair. Yeah, a mate of mine went to that today. Bless her. She's a big Watford fan. And Cardiff are bottom of the table, or second bottom, sorry, Wayne Rooney's the Plymouth, propping up the table, as they will be for the rest of the season. And yeah, she's like, I guarantee you, because I'm going, we're going to lose at home.
That's the first home game they've lost under Cleverly was today.
Yeah. She said, so it was her fault, Emily. Her name's Emily Kilban, and everyone at work calls her Kilbane, and I'm trying to have her name properly pronounced as Kilban. And yeah, they're like, here's Kilban. Is it Kilban? There you go. Emily, if you're watching, I know you're not, but you know. Baylor, these Keane situations would never happen to my goat.
Well said. Do you know who this is, Martin?
Do you know who this is, Martin? Tell us.
No. Oh, the goat. Who the goat is? Who he means as a goat? Yeah, did he?
Yeah, see.
8 man of the match appearance. 8 man of matches out of 13 caps.
That actually is, in fairness, that is some going for any player, no matter what position or
All joking aside.
I think is class going.
Yeah, that is fantastic. To be fair. What?
It's
It's great going, Martin. Come on.
great going, but Jesus, some of them. We must get a list of.
You never know what you had till it's gone. That's what it was like with Didsy.
Yeah. No.
Why do you not go to the Euros ahead of Daryl Murphy?
Because it was a terrible management not picking him.
Daryl
Martin
Murphy
is
hadn't
bollocks,
scored
that's
either.
Because Martin O'Neill's a terrible manager. That's why.
And it was an anti. Martin O'Neill had an anti people born in England bias, as we know with Michael Obafemi. He told Michael Obafemi, "You don't want to play for Ireland, don't you?" Even though Michael Obafemi was born in Ireland, but he has an English accent. Yeah, we all know what Martin O'Neill's like.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think Michael Obafemi, he was capped by Martin O'Neill in his last game when he knew he was going to be fired.
Yeah, but didn't he tell him he wasn't gonna? Didn't he try and make him out not want to play for Ireland?
Yeah, it was a bit.
Threw him under the bus.
Martin. Martin doesn't like Didsy when he's sticking up for O'Neill.
Yeah, Jesus, Martin.
I love Didsy.
Moving on. Nick, surely Stoke should be looking at Robbie with the whole Ireland connection. And of course, they fired a manager recently, didn't they? Director of football, John Walters, Martin's mate, and Keno's. Yeah, he said, "I'll take full responsibility off you, Pop." And now they're looking for a new manager. And he won today, actually. Not in relegation zone, but they should be doing a lot better than they are.
They have a good squad.
Yeah, they have a decent squad, to be fair. Robbie Keane, he's never going to get in a Stoke, is he?
Well, you never know.
Only you wouldn't know. Yeah, that is the thing. You have to understand the relationship, if there is one, between Walters and Robbie Keane.
They could bring in Rory Delap as assistant, because he was there before, wasn't he? As assistant.
Yeah.
When Liam was there unknown.
Certainly isn't much of a relationship between John Walters and Roy Keane. But anyway, moving on. Green Machine. Good on you, Green Machine. There you go. I feel like a coming together. It's a bit like, do you ever see Star Trek Generations when never mind. No, that's gone right over your heads.
We
will never be
like real men.
You what?
We watch darts like real men.
Green Machine will never be a clamour for Keane down the line. Ireland is so staunchly pro-Palestine, and this war will not be forgotten in his lifetime, never mind his career span. Poor decision from Keane, and that's the trade-off. I don't know. I mean, I get what they're saying there over Green Machine, but I think football's very fickle, and I mean, he has got absolutely battered, and he does seem to be a bit of a pariah in Ireland, which is mental when you think about it. But I don't know.
I think it depends on what he's doing. If he just keeps going on like this for the next 10 years and doesn't work another job, I think he's definitely, people won't forget this. But I think if he goes somewhere else and wins something with some club and becomes a bit of a hero at a club thing, since things change quickly in football, but in his current space, I think it would take probably 5-10 years before people start to forget about what he does happen. But time does heal these sort of things.
It could happen. I think it depends. I think if I was advising Robbie Keane, it would be a big thing, like a PR thing, that he has to get a job. He has to do a lot more positive press and things like that. That's not just about him. I think he can give it back a little bit more to Irish football, and more stories, or even not. I'll be honest, even engaging with podcasts and doing interviews about just about like make himself a pundit basically in Irish football. I know he does Sky every now and again and things, but he doesn't seem massively. I'm sure he is proud. It's the wrong word to use, but he doesn't seem to ever really focus on his Irish career and all that thing. Whereas, you hear Roy Keane talking about stuff about Man United and the good old days and things like that. But I think you have to kind of really give a bit more insight into what it was like playing for Ireland and the good old days and things like that. And then more opinionated on how we can make Irish football better, to force himself into the door and into the kind of conversation of, okay, then go and be that person to do it.
There you go. Mark Curran. just under half an hour in, and the goat rocket hasn't been mentioned yet. Come on, David. Oh, it gets worse, Mark. Mark actually seems to have a hard on for me this week. Baylor, David's having a shocker. No Ditsy mentioned as well. We fucking just mentioned it.
Literally, you need put down.
Fucking hell. Is that a thing that you do up in Northern Ireland where you know, like you do up in Leeds? Or do you do up in Leeds where you leave out there's what are they called, Martin? There's, and you know, they don't say on the truck to say on truck, that kind of shit going on.
Yeah.
You stay over there with your British passport, mate.
Do you not speak to Martin that way? Well, an assist for Rocco, says Mark Curran. Here we go. Here's the hard on. It gets worse as it goes on. Had a quick look there. Yes, okay, Mark, I got it wrong. Even I can make a mistake. I know that's hard to believe. Dylan Cullen Bassett also scored on Stephen's Day. See how easy it is, Connor. See how easy it is to just say Stephen's Day, not Boxing Day. 5 goals and assists in 240
Forgot
minutes.
to mention the 95th minute winner.
Well, I wasn't talking about those games. I wasn't talking about Stephen's Day matches. Dean Flood, who'd watch the darts when you can watch 2 gingers and a prod talk about Irish footballers? Jesus.
I'm not a prod.
Well, I think he's picking out Connor there. He's both, really, isn't he? Anyway,
all welcome here.
Nothing wrong with that, by the way. There's nothing wrong with Connor getting out his bowler hat every July, walking down the road. That's okay. We're not here to judge you, Connor. Baylor, Stephen Bunting has the male desired optimal build.
Do you know who Stephen Bunting is?
Nope.
Go to bed already, will you?
I don't watch darts. It's shit. Fucking. I mean, no. I was going to say something rude. I won't. Best first half against England. Worst the second half. Yeah, that's a fair one, actually. To be fair, isn't it?
Yeah, that is good little one, actually. Good summary of it there. Of that game, certainly. Yeah.
Kate McAvoy. Hey, Connor from downstairs. Are they downstairs, or are you saying you're downstairs in your basement?
No, they're downstairs.
Mark Curran. Hey, Connor from the attic. How big is your fucking house? What? Jack Taylor looked good. Want to see more of him. He was very good in Athens. He was. I was there watching it live. And oh wait, you both, none of you aren't, were you, lads? Sitting at home, watching on the telly. Dean Flood, best surprised my dad with England tickets. Worse the actual game. Yeah, fair enough, mate. Which one was that though, Dean? Was that the one in London or was that the one in Dublin? Dean Flood, also Cannon committing was cool. That's a point, wasn't it? He was very, in and out, and all of a sudden he committed, and I was like, oh, okay. We were expecting a big furore with him, weren't we? A big, oh God, what's he going to do? Maybe we were stirring the pot a little bit as well, and all of a sudden he just committed. And, oh, okay, yeah, nice one. No,
I'm not too. I wasn't too.
Connor still has a liver, folks, because I've outed him as a big Protestant. The podcast. Mark Curran, I'd rather know what Vata got an assist, like Connor said, than what year the lights went up. But that's just me.
Literally, well said, Mark.
Oh God. Not public. Here's to a 2025. Well, hopefully it will be. Otherwise, if there isn't, something's gone seriously wrong. Hopefully we see the rise of the exotic Irish players like Azaz, John Joe Patrick, Vinny Faraz, and Anselmo Garcia McNulty. Onwards and upwards.
Do you see that Faraz fella? I don't know if it was him who commented before, because it was commented before or after a game. And I went and found out. I contacted the fella, looked him up on Instagram and found his agency and they said there's no link to Ireland whatsoever. So I don't know where that has come out of, or someone on Football Manager has added it in as a mistake, but that fella's no Irish in him. Just some random fella that plays in Brazil, like.
Fella. I mean, you just don't know these days. Dean Flood, the game in Dublin. Good man, Dean. Thank you for getting back to me and thank you for watching. And I think the last comment is nice. John Muckian, hearing a lot of rumours about Ferguson, Arsenal, and Fulham. Is that
he wouldn't play at Arsenal.
I think he's better than Kai Havertz. If you put Ferguson, I'm being serious. If you put Ferguson in that Arsenal team, He would be so good. It's score for
Oh, he
fun.
would be. I'm not knocking that, but I don't think it's the profile enough. I think it would be hard for him to go in there where they're challenging for the title. There'll be a lot of pressure on him to have to perform, and Kai Havertz gets away with it just on the money and the name. And
But everyone knows Kai Havertz is a bit shit. Like he's like watch. Just
they do. I
watch
mean,
Kai
if it was a
Havertz
loan
play.
deal, but I think he would be the first one. Then you would take they'll take him out if it's not going well and things like that. And Jesus is been scoring for them. I was talking about obviously I was at the Arsenal game the other night, and I was talking to Arsenal fans that I went with, and I said they said, "Oh, well, how's that Ferguson getting on?" Because I was talking about him and said he would be perfect for them. But I can't see it going there, and I think we need him to go somewhere where
I don't think he'll go anywhere.
he will get a run. Fulham, perhaps.
I don't know. I just don't think he'll go anywhere. I think it's
Listen.
because he didn't play the other day. He was injured the other day, but no one said. I just found out he was injured, but I never got a reason what it was. But Joe Pedro, if you've seen, should have got sent off. He swung a flying elbow at someone.
Oh, yeah,
missed him
awful
in the face. But
Yeah.
surely still for the intent, you should be getting 3 games. And Danny Welbeck's still injured, and I don't know when Danny Welbeck's back, but
Listen,
I don't think get sold.
He won't be going to Arsenal. He just won't be going to Arsenal for a multitude of reasons, and he won't be going to Fulham because Fulham are. Why would you give a team that you're basically slugging out for positions right now? Brighton are 10th in the league. Fulham are 8th in the league. Brighton have a game in hand on Fulham, and they are 3 points behind Fulham. Why would you give them a hand up and give them the next potential big superstar? Potential big superstar. You're not going to give them to him, and you're not going to get your next potential big superstar who could, by the way, get you a 3-figure in terms of 100 million plus potentially, by the way, could get you the next 100+ million pound transfer. You want to develop this lad and you want to cash in and then develop the next star. That's what Brighton do. You're not going to send him to a club where he's going to rot on the bench. He's going to sit on the bench and rot and not develop, and then hinder your investment. And second of all, you're not going to give him to a club that you're finding it out for.
Yeah, there's no need for him to really, again, for the they gave him the big contract. I don't think he's causing problems in the background there. He's not I'd say he probably is demanding to play in some ways, but he has got that youth on his side. It's not like he's been the main man that they need goals from, and he's just not performing. And then they're saying, right, we know you're an investment, but it's not worked out at the moment. You're not doing it, so we're just going to loan you out. Even going back to Man United, but like Zersky, if it didn't work out with him, you'd push him out from a loan move, try and retain some value, and push the problem on. He's not the problem there, though. It's just his age is limiting his opportunities there, and I wouldn't be against getting a move, but it's got to be the right move. There's no point. I don't want to see him going down to the Championship, because
that just won't happen. That's not an option.
It just won't happen. So he's got to keep the profile up because they've got.
He won't stay in the Premier League. If he goes on loan, he won't be in the Premier League. He won't be.
It'll be like Leicester or someone. Leicester could do with a striker. I know they've Vardy, but
Leicester could do. Yeah, Leicester could do. Yeah.
Oh Jesus! Did you see the game today? If Leicester, they were so unlucky. They were blessed City today, weren't they? I know they won 2-0, but oh my God, if they had someone like an informed strike like an informed Ferguson, they would have won that game 2-3-0. They were terrible City, and if it wasn't for the offside flag, they would have conceded penalty and probably been down to 10 men as well. They were so lucky for the foul on Vardy.
Even looking to thinking like the likes of Ipswich, I'm only talking about them because I saw them the other night, but like I said, Delap didn't look after the ball good enough up front on his own, and I just think Ferguson would have been a lot better. And even Schmonix was good the other night, but it was so frustrating to watch. And this is the thing that's pissing me off with modern kind of football, and even on the Man United thing of you have to have this manager plays a system, and they're not adaptable, and I haven't got the players for it and stuff. It's a load of shite. I mean, Ipswich the other night was so frustrating to watch because when they won the ball, they just reset. Basically, they would bring the ball back to their centre backs to build up again. Whereas that you can't allow the likes of Arsenal to reset and all get back in position because you're never going to open them up. That you're not going to be good enough. Like Ipswich are not going to be good enough to open them up. The only way it was going to be was like counter attack and winning it up high and then going. And then why I'm mentioning this on obviously an Irish football podcast is because this will be context for Ireland. Is that's what we have to do. It can't be. I know Stephen Kenny brought us in that we pass the ball for passing sake and things, but that's what we were good at, putting pressure on, winning it high up, then being creative in the last third. That's where you can take risks and it won't cost you. That we've found it difficult over the years to break down teams who sit in, and less teams obviously do that now. But this evolution of football, I was just amazed at Ipswich. I mean, they had a free kick and they didn't even put it in the box at the end. You're thinking Darashay's got to go up there. They didn't deliver any crosses or anything like that. It's a hard watch at the moment, this football that you're seeing now, where it's all systems.
It's very cookie cutter, I find. Like they're all trying to play the same way, and it's really Look, I was watching Liverpool there today, and they were phenomenal against West Ham. Now West Ham hit the woodwork.
Are we going to end the show? We can't be.
Yeah. No, but like Liverpool press high up. They play with two in the midfield. They've got the players to pass around the back, and they can hit you in the multi. They can play it out wide. They can play it over the top, or they can play it through the center. They can hit you in so many different ways. They're that good. Not every team can do that. So you have to play. They play to the strengths. You got to play to your strengths, and that's what we're trying to do now. As you say, like just make yourselves hard to beat. Do your business. Keep it tight at the back, and then have all your joy in the final third, their final third, not your final third. And it's so stupid. That's why managers like Neil Warnock and Sam Allardyce, when they're a bit younger, got so much joy because they would just stick to what they do. Cute, clever, where these young managers, they watch Pep, they watch Klopp, they watch these guys. I want to be like that. No, just be you. Yeah. Be it. But anyway, got last few comments here all about Evan Ferguson. Need Ferguson to get a loan move where he'll play and score. Suppose get something from the sell on later. Fair play, Mark. That's the thing. He ain't going to go to a Leicester because you don't want him struggling. This boy is going to be a Rolls Royce. You want him playing in a team that's going to, Brighton should be his perfect level. So it's a tough one. Like, where does he go? You don't want him going below Brighton. He's not going to get a loan. You're not going to loan him out to a club above you. You're going to sell him to a club above you. I agree with Connor, by the way, for once. He ain't going to go anywhere. Leicester will take Ferguson just so they don't have to put Patson Daka on the bench.
All the fans want Cannon back.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, but I don't think he will, though.
Is Cannon permanent or is he on loan?
No, he's alone.
Yeah, I mean, Cannon, I think he's crying out for. He's scoring a decent amount of goals for a very poor Stoke side. Good team, but just playing so poorly. Ferguson alone to Southampton, just down the coast. No, God no, they're finished, aren't they? 6 points. They're 9 points off safety. It's ridiculous. It's not even it's not even a new year yet. I was going to say it's not even Christmas. Mark Curran, if the three of you had to pick a club for Ferguson, what club are you picking for sake of argument loan until summer? Well, realistically, or who we'd love for him to play?
Arsenal. I think he would tear it. I think he would tear it up if he went to Arsenal. I think he would show how good he is. Put them because Arsenal players actually create when you have Odegaard creating for you and the balls to put into the box. Brighton, I've never seen since Hurslers come in. They seem to just play with like 6 wingers or number 10s who like to pick the ball up and just run at men and not get their head up or put a ball in the box. I know Ferguson needs to do more himself to create chances, but their team is so selfish these days.
Yeah, I fantasy wise, Arsenal, I think you do well. I'd love to see a big team like that come in and take a chance. Martin, what do you say?
Part of the Man United rebuild would be brilliant. That'd be fantastic, please. Just
do you know, two Irish? Sorry to interrupt. 2 Irish players that do really well for Man United rebuild. All seriousness, would be just joking. Would be Queven Gallagher and Ferguson.
Yes,
sorry, continue.
Kelleher was at United. They should never let him go. He was there earlier, young. They could have signed him. I'd actually have no problem with that Man United at all because I think Man United aren't great at the moment, and I think Hoyland's very good, but I think the way they play, they don't deliver the ball in the box. Whereas I think Evan Ferguson's build-up play is quite good as well, so I'd have no problem there with that. And it's an interesting one. Will United look at any Ireland players. Kelleher's a great shout, to be honest.
I think it's not. That's impossible.
It won't happen. It
impossible.
won't happen. But
Nathan Collins is the only. I think Nathan Collins is the most likely of any current Irish player because he's playing on the right of a back three with Brentford, and if you see week in week out, he's their best player, the best defender by far. I seen Henry Winter talk about that he's at least doubled his value since he's went to Brentford, how highly they rate him, and that they're talking about how he's been their best defender this year. Nathan Collins is ready to go to the next level, like whether that's Man United or whether it's like a Spurs or someone. But in a back three, on the right of a back three, he's one of the best in England at the moment.
They put out I reshared it on Facebook, but Brentford put out a tweet. It was in his game, the 0-0 draw. That's why another reason why I mention it, because he had 100% tackles won, 44 accurate passes, 7 defensive actions, 5 recoveries, and 3 duels won. Now I know you love all that, Connor, but I mean that's the way the modern game is. Now that was a 0-0 draw. That boy, he is quietly, you know, I was critical of him earlier in the season, but he has really upped his game.
Yeah, but I think the biggest problem is because of the way fans have such a stronghold over what a footballer opinion is. His only problem is he plays for Brentford, who just don't have a big fan base of social media following. If he was playing for Brighton or he couldn't really. Fulham would be the same pretty much. But even if he was still at Wolves and he was doing what he was doing at Wolves in that back three, he'd have so much more hype because of how much of a bigger club they are and thingy. But what Nathan Collins is doing this season is going so underrated, and I would be shocked next season if there's not offers coming from in the summer.
Top 6 team, do you reckon? I mean,
it's hard to say a top 6 team because it probably needs to be the right system and stuff. But I actually think he would fit in perfectly in that Man United back three. I know I'm biased to every Irish player, but he has everything that you need to be a top modern centre back.
Yeah, no, I mean,
as well, looking back to Wembley as well, he'd fit in perfectly at Man United now, though, because he come over at Wembley, it was 5-0 and he was apologising. You could see him going up to Stretford End and doing that now. See, I can joke about Man United, Dave. See?
Well, I mean, that's all you can do, mate, really, isn't it? To be honest with you. And of course, we will be live, Man United Liverpool special, 9:00. Myself and Martin. That is going to be interesting. Come and get, and of course, we'll do the usual oi big and all that. Martin, you can correct my mistakes on that. We got a few more comments here. Fitness says it's like to get a move to the Premier League, Ipswich and Wolves.
Next summer, hopefully, I'd like him to wait till.
Wolves have a chance to stay up.
Wolves are a very good squad. Mateus Cunha is one of the best players in the league at the moment. Like, he's unbelievable. He's so
Liverpool
good.
Probably poach him.
No, I think he'll be United.
I mean,
he needs to go to United, doesn't he, Martin?
A big build though, United, haven't they? Like, it's mad.
But you want entertainers. That's what you need, Martin. There's a lack of real entertainers, and when you look at the Premier League, there's very few. But Mateus Cunha is one that gets you off your feet every single time you watch him getting the ball. And that's just why I want to go to Old Trafford. I just like people to get me off my seat.
Yeah, I think Man United get you off your seat and out of the stadium, really, don't they?
Yeah, set up matches. I'm not a fraud. In the press box.
Yeah. Any reason he gets up the seat in the press box is when you drop your Maltesers.
I don't. The only place I drop my Maltesers is in my fucking mouth, mate. No, I think United, definitely are. I don't know. I wouldn't panic just yet. I mean, you can go in. He's had to wake it up a little bit, hasn't he? It's a big. Let's be honest. It's a big pile of shite in the Old Trafford dressing room right now, and it's like a big pile of elephant dung that just sits in the corner, and he's got to go in, wake it all up, and he's got to clean it out, and it's going to stink. And right now, it stinks at the moment. I have actually done that, by the way. I've worked at a zoo for the day. Genuinely, up in Whipsnade. I have Whipsnade and Luton. See, fucking a lot of stuff I've done, lads, you don't know. And I think that's what's going on at United at the moment. You can't really do much unless you get to you get a transfer window, you get players out. And I think it's going to be more important getting players out than in, and then get a few cute signings maybe. But who knows? Last one, and this is the last one, lads, and we're going to go. This is for you, Connor. Apparently, Faraz's father lived in Gort in the 2000s, worked in the meat factory. You are. Returned to Brazil before Faraz was born, but obtained Irish citizenship beforehand. So there you go.
But that could be true. But what I know is that your parent has to be born in the country. You can't qualify through another for someone getting citizenship.
That
That's
is
from
true.
what I'm
That
aware of.
they changed that in 2005.
Yeah.
I remember that actually. Yeah, they changed that in 2005. It was a big thing. Right, lads, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. Quiet night tonight, but you know, it is Christmas time, I suppose. We will be back next week. Next Sunday, we will be live. It'll be the 5th of January. Martin and myself will be on. It's a Man United Liverpool special. Should be good crack, as it always is. New Year's Day. Don't forget, part 2 of Lansdowne Legends will be out. There you go. That's what it looks like. And we're the boys, Alan Kelly, Clinton Morrison, and Ian Hart. We're all talking about Saipan. Some really interesting stories here. It's a bit, actually, Martin, where you and I just sort of sit there in silence and just let them talk.
Yeah. That was absolutely brilliant. And yeah, to give that a listen, and also appreciate if you would share it. Let your friends, any Irish football fans, obviously share it. Even, you know, Saipan is the story, of course. Roy Keane, such a big profile, one of the greatest Irish footballers ever, isn't he, Dave? So yeah, do share that with everybody, because it would just be of interest, because you get the lads' perspective. It's never been, the three of them have never chatted about it before, as far as we're aware, and it was great to get them all together chatting about the World Cup experience in 2002 and how they got on and playing against Spain and penalty shootouts, and would Clinton have scored if he'd have took one and things like that. Ian Hart, of course, talks about the penalty. But yeah, really, really good listen. So yeah, enjoy that and share it, please. That'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know, Mark. I think I could stay on here for another half hour. Connor, what you reckon? Sorry, Rose. Connor is dying to go to the toilet. He just texted me there. So please hurry up, lads. Die for a bit. Don't worry, Connor. We're getting there. Calling you out, son. It's probably our most least professional episode of Lansdowne Live. Yeah, but as Martin says, check it out. Part 1 is available right now. Part 1 is available right now. That is over on YouTube. It's a YouTube only, and have a listen to it and do share it. Of course, it is fantastic. If you can as well, Martin, dig him out there. Buy a flask. We got you saying 94 and Euro 88 commemorative flasks there. They actually are really good, by the way. Isn't that right, Connor? You love a flask, don't you? Flasks are good, aren't they? Yeah.
I'm just too young for a flask. See, this is the hardcore where you're not in the press box at games. Now, this is what the Irish fans do.
All right, okay.
The Irish fans do have a little a whiskey flask on the go. That's what we do.
Yeah, he could probably do with a flask right now under the table. The link to that will be below. Anyway, just before we go, guys, don't forget, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's at Lansdowne Road. You can head over, if you want an audio version of this, head over to lansdowneroar.ie. Also, there are going to be weekly articles. A lot of good stuff going to go on over there. We're going to have a new website soon enough anyway, because the old one hasn't been updated for a while. Also, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. Follow Connor over at Rep Tracker. That's at Rep Tracker over on Twitter if you want to find out what's going on with the latest in the current Boys in Green and the future Boys and Girls in Green as well. I'm David Dunn. He's Mark Prendergast. That's Connor McAvoy about to piss himself. If we don't get off here soon enough. Thank you for a fantastic 2024. We've broken all sorts of records. Here's to a brilliant 2025. And hopefully you guys are going to be with us for that as well. Good night. God bless. Happy New Year to you. And look after yourselves, because we love you. Anyway, all the best.